You said something about being able to access all the knowledge that exists. The only thing we need to do is to get out of our mind. Is it possible to use mind to get out of the mind? And is there any place for structure, for a method? What I'm really looking for is for deep, deep, deep transformation. So that's the real question. That's what it brought me to why is the real deep transformation has not happened yet.
When I met you, you were a deeply scattered man. All of the time until this point. It's been preparation for you. Gathering yourself. Getting into a proper dedication. And when the time is right, the doors, they open. What you can do is, in the coming time, you can watch all of those places where you are using your mind to stay away from the depths and from the pain of the depths. The mind is a brilliant thing, and it's never about pushing away any capacity that you may have grown in giving up the scatteredness. And when you say this about using the brain to come into the brain, no, you cannot do that. And yet it's like, when you said this about get out of your head, it's more like properly get into your head. Have you noticed? Are you aware of the difference? Because there's someone in the head that you're identifying with, that's the one leaving. But when you properly enter the head, then clarity happens. That's an entering of consciousness into the head. So let's say these preparatory stages has been that preparatory. Let's say that whatever you've developed so far is what you need to begin the journey deeper. We may even say it may take a little while longer, but not much. Such the door down there and out there should be open now. It's going to take you time to acknowledge that. It's going also to take you a bit of time to own the longing of that depth, because the non-readiness has been founded in appreciating the mind's features too much. It's complete beauty, I completely agree with you. But what matters is that you give up the preference of that over the pain of the depth. That you come into a love of the depth, which allows a deeper love of yourself as human, deeper love of the earth, a deeper love of the feminine in you as well. And simply because it's what's needed to balance you. What it does at present is that when I met you, it completely overwhelmed you, to the extent where you could hardly even touch it. As I see you now, you are much more solid in your centering. And from there, there can that invitation be, but without the solidity you've built, it's not possible. Because you're going to need everything to deal with yourselves in the depths. What I can point you towards is anger, like real anger that needs to be met with consciousness, a giving up of that basic rage of the feminine even, which is about all the pushing and pulling which the mind can do. So in a way you could even say you're standing on a ledge in a way. And that jump into love requires you to give up the preference of the mind. You may even actually, to make it easier on yourself, be willing to completely give it up for a while. Not it because you need the capacity of it down, but the capacity is not your mind. The capacity is the being that has been working with your mind so far, and that being needs to translate itself to your heart and to your belly. So no matter how you twist or turn it, you cannot lose whatever has been attained in terms of clarity. But you almost have to consider it to be a mistake for a while, only due to the fact that you've been leaning on it so hardly, with this little taste of, oh, this is like the greatest part of me. Am I right?
As I said, I greatly enjoy sharpness.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
It's like an art.
Exactly. I feel the same. And even that can become even sharper. That's not the point right now. The point is that it needs to balance out. And the balancing out basically means to allow the same precision to become the precision with which you love. The precision with which you move your life. The precision with which you let yourself be moved by life. Can you accept that last one? Because when I said this, I can see like one of your major obstacles is control. Because when I said this, when I said the precision with which you love, you were almost able to make the translation between that and this. But the moment I said the precision with which you allow yourself to be lived, and this is exactly it. When we come down here, we lose control. And then I felt that that's where you make a distance. Like you like saying it, it was kind of like the words stopped here. Like, like that's not an option. So control, and around that, if you see that core of control, you have vulnerability, you have applying yourself as the clarity, but with the total willingness to feel. And then to be feeling the human emotions everywhere, from the deepest joy, which is a little easier for you. But then the moment we come over to the other side, where it's like feeling the helplessness of being human, that which actually will allow life in you to grow up, allow your spiritual maturity, spiritual maturation, that can only invite itself through a complete giving over to your balls. A complete agreement to drop down and be the vulnerability of man. Meeting the grief, the anger, helplessness, I'm just saying what I see, like when I look. Huh? Yeah.
How can I find something as solid as my control to replace it, to let it go?
Okay, listen to this. You're getting a new toy. And there's a task in that toy. The toy is your human existence. But rather than playing with it from an arrogant point of view, your job is to fall completely in love with it. So the tool that you're getting is the piano of your sense of feeling. At the moment, you have a hard time playing a good deal of these notes on the piano. So see the piano itself as your new toy, and see it as your task to uncover this preference of preferring some notes over other notes. So work yourself into completely translate the brilliancy of the mind to the brilliancy of your sense of feeling. Translate the being of brilliancy in your head into feeling. It's gonna require some from you, but you can do it. How does it feel when I say that?
It feels challenging in the sense of that life is not perfect enough to be loved. I'm not perfect enough. Human being is not perfect enough to be loved.
Well, there you go.
So that has to be dealt
So
with.
that little extra, because actually you cannot solve this task without taking that arrogance and tossing it.
Mm-hmm.
But you can do that too. It's just gonna require you to surrender to the controller.
Yes. Yes.